The colour, all set for the Irish Derby, and all set for a great win, Ribocco, Lester Pigot's mount. Jackie Kennedy set a high note of fashion, but while she was hatless, it was obvious that headgear in a variety of shapes, sizes and styles was a prominent feature of most ladies' outfits. But behind every hat there was bound to be a husband's thinner wallet. Well, this was the time and place for trying to get their money back. 23 top-class entries representing Ireland, Britain and France gave the punters plenty to think about. But Ribocco was carrying the main bulk of bets as 5-2 favourite. Tension mounted as the start of the richest Irish race near it. They were off. Ahead 1.5 miles of hard racing with a prize of almost £58,000 for the winner. And what a race it turned out to be. Zuccarello had the lead, but coming fast in the expert hands of Lester Pigot was Ribocco. With a superbly timed challenge, Ribocco closed the gap. He was scorching along. Zuccarello couldn't hold him. That was it. Ribocco had won from Zuccarello. A great race for the pint-sized winner and a superb ride by Lester Pigot. Certainly an Irish Sweeps Derby that will go down as one of the most exciting.
I got beaten in the Irish Derby on him. But otherwise he was a very, very good horse. I think he didn't really get 1.5 miles. He was probably more 1.25 miles horse, I think. But I think he was a bit jarred, perhaps a bit sore of his shins or jarred of his shoulders in the Irish Derby that day, because he wouldn't have won at 1.25 miles that day. So I felt a bit of an idiot. But I think he was about 7-2 on that occasion. And the ironic thing about the whole thing was that Lester was the one who beat me. And I think it was Ribeiro. But I must say he was very good about it, Vincent. He said to me afterwards that he said it didn't matter what you did. He said you couldn't have won him on the light of the way you rode him. And but I came away from the Curragh that day, I think, having had a bad day, and I think I rode the last 4 winners.
The Irish Sweeps Derby, 1970. Nijinsky is the only horse in history to have won this race as well as the 3 great English classics.
Here comes Nijinsky, positively pulling his way up towards the leader, and it's Nijinsky with Lester Pigot challenging at the same time on Meadowville. Nijinsky now forging ahead from Meadowville, and it's Nijinsky going away from Meadowville. Master Guy's moving into 3rd place, but striding up towards the line. It's Nijinsky clear, effortlessly clear of Meadowville in 2nd place. Master Guy's 3rd, and at the line, that's the result. Nijinsky the winner, Meadowville 2nd, and Master Guy's 3rd.
Turn now with just about 2.5 furlongs to go. Ans Pretender has taken it up, and it's Ans Pretender with on the near side Irish Star. King Pellinor is just behind them. Grundy is coming on the extreme right now, and as they have about 1.5 furlongs to go, Grundy coming on the outside, and as they hit the last 1.25 furlongs, it's Grundy out in front, and Grundy coming on, and Grundy coming away, and as they race down inside the final furlong, there he goes, Grundy, and the King is chasing Grundy, but the King is in front. The King of the day is Grundy. In 2nd place is King Pellinor. In 3rd comes Ans Pretender. Then comes Sea Anchor. They're racing down towards the half-mile marker, and Orchestra is just the leader. And up there too with them is Lath, very well placed. And also just in behind the leading group now comes the Minstrel and Ercolano turning into the straight now. Milverton well there on the outside, and as they swing into the straight, it is Orchestra with Ercolano well there. And Classic Example not far off either. And in the straight now with 2.5 furlongs to go. Out on the outside towards the right with the white feet, that's the Minstrel. Orchestra's over on the far side. Ercolano's in the center. Lucky Sovereign is coming, but here comes the Minstrel. They're coming to the furlong pole, and the Minstrel being challenged by Lucky Sovereign now on the near side. And Classic Example moving on the inside with 150 yards to go. There's nothing going to beat him. He's hanging like blazes over to this side. He's going down to the line, and it is the Minstrel is the winner. In 2nd place, Lucky Sovereign. Then now they're all in for the Irish Derby. They're ready to go. And they're off. And Troy is the first to break, and the Bart on the outside. And now Riverdon has taken up his task as pacemaker. Riverdon got into the lead. In second place is the Bart. In third place is Scorpio. Then comes Fabulous Dancer. Troy is next. Then Ballyboggin Prince. After Ballyboggin is Bohemian Grove. Dickens Hill is last but one, and last of all is Alaska Floco. And that's Riverdon, the leader. In second place is the Bart. In third is Scorpio. Then Fabulous Dancer. Ballyboggin Prince. Troy comes next. Bohemian Grove. And then way back at the end of the field, Dickens Hill and Alaska Floco. And the pace is a good one as Riverdon stretches it out now about 3 lengths ahead. In second place is the Bart. He's 2 lengths up on Scorpio, who's about the same distance up on Fabulous Prince, who's a length and a half in front of the following horse, who's Ballyboggin Prince. After that comes Troy being kicked along. After that comes Bohemian Grove, and then back comes Dickens Hill. Alaska Floco is last of all. And as they pass the 7 furlong marker, Riverdon is the leader by an increasing distance now. The Bart is in second. In third place is Scorpio. Fabulous Dancer comes next. After that comes Ballyboggin Prince. Then Troy beginning to move up a bit. Bohemian Grove and Dickens Hill, who's beginning to move up as well. But Alaska Floco is still last of all. They're coming down the hill now. They've just over 5 furlongs to go. And Riverdon's lead has been cut by the Bart. The Bart going up now to take the lead. In third place is Scorpio. Fabulous Dancer comes next. Then comes Troy. After that, a flying Dickens Hill moving up on the outside. And as they race down now to the final half mile, it's the Bart out in front by about 6 lengths. Riverdon is in second. The 2 Frenchmen are coming after him. Fabulous Dancer and Scorpio. Troy is after him, and Dickens Hill is after him. They're turning into the straight now. They've got 3 furlongs to race, and it's the Bart who's in the lead. And then along the inside is Scorpio. On the outside is Fabulous Dancer. Then comes Troy on the wide outside. Dickens Hill along the inside, and Troy is under pressure as the Bart remains up there in front. But here comes Troy. He's coming up and he's running the outside. He's sailed past a lot of them. He's racing down to the last furlong, and Troy is coming away. It's Troy now, and running out to be second is Dickens Hill. But it's Troy out in front. It's not going to be 7 lengths, I think, but it is Troy, and a brilliant performance. Dickens Hill is in second. A great win for Troy. Dickens Hill is second. It's close for the third between Scorpio and Bohemian Grove, who's on the far side in a photo. Then comes the Bart, Alaska Floco, Fabulous Dancer, then Ballyboggin Prince, and last of all is Riverdon. Hail Troy! There's no doubt whatever that Troy proved himself a horse of horses here today. And as he goes past the post, he is such an easy winner. Ladbrokes quote him 4-1 for the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. The Tote quote him 6-4 for the Queen Elizabeth, and 4-1 for the Prix.
Turnabout in the spotted jacket being pressed now by Master Willie. Then towards the outside, Ramian hanging on, followed by Cobbler's Cove. Prince B's got quite a lot to do as they enter the final 3 furlongs. Pellerin is even further behind, and so is Nikolai. But as they come now towards the final 2 furlongs, Turnabout still in command from Master Willie in second place. Willie Carson now gets a run through on Prince B. After these comes Ramian, and as they race now towards the final furlong and a half, Prince B coming storming through, but still has 2 or 3 legs to find on Turnabout, who looks as though he could make all the running in the Irish Weeks Derby. Racing up towards the line, and it's still Turnabout from Prince B, with in third place Ramian for the favourite Master Willie. Garrido making late progress, but nothing's going to catch Turnabout. That's the line. Turnabout wins the Irish Weeks Derby. Prince B is second and Ramian third. Close for fourth between Garrido and Master Willie. Then came
81 Irish Sweeps Derby. That's it. They're all in under starters' orders, and they're away. And away to a good even break with Cut Above on the inside. The first to show, Shergar right up with him too in the early stages. Wolver Heights is the back marker, and it's Cut Above from Baz Bombatti and Shergar. Then comes Jolier and Kirtling. Behind them, Gap of Dunlow. Behind Gap of Dunlow is Crowned Hare, and then comes Orr. Then Dance Bid, Bastinetto and Wolver Heights. And Cut Above, Willie Carson making it from Shergar on the inside of Baz Bombatti with Jolier up there, and then comes Kirtling and Crowned Hare. Behind Crowned Hare is Gap of Dunlow, then Dance Bid and Orr. and then Young Kildare, and the back markers are the stable companions Bastinetto and Wolver Heights. And still Willie Carson making it on cut above from Joliet. Leicester on the inside, close on Shergar. Towards Shergar's outside is Kirtling. Just on the outside of them come Crowned Hare, and then Baz Bombatti, Wolver Heights and Bastinetto are still the back markers. They've passed the 7 furlong pole. Still cut above in the lead from Joliet. Then on the inside, Shergar. On Shergar's outside is Kirtling, making a forward move there. Just in behind them, Crowned Hare. Behind Crowned Hare is Gap of Dunlow. Orr is dropping back. Wolver Heights is the back marker. They're racing towards the 6 furlong pole, and as they do so, it's still cut above in the lead for England. From Kirtling also for England in second. Shergar for England is third. Then comes Crowned Hare on the outside. Young Kildare's not far behind the leaders. Then Joliet, then Dance Bid. Baz Bombatti has dropped back to last. Racing towards the half-mile pole now, and as they do so, it's still on the inside. Willie Carson on cut above from Pat Edery on Kirtling. Just in behind them comes Shergar. Then Orr making good progress. Just in behind them, they're rounding the home turn now into the straight. 3 furlongs to run, and Shergar has come there to take it up. Shergar and Lester Piggott towards the right of the picture now has taken up running from Kirtling, cut above. Then comes Orr. Behind Orr and making good ground is Gap of Dunlow. They're inside the final 2 furlongs, and Shergar has streaked into the lead from Kirtling in second. Then comes Gap of Dunlow producing a good run, cut above, hanging on over on the far side, but racing down to the furlong pole and lengthening his stride. Lester Piggott looking over his left shoulder, sees no possible danger whatsoever, striding up to win this. Ears pricked, he's only in an exercise canter. He's won the Irish Derby in a canter. Second cut above and third Gap of Dunlow. 4 is Kirtling and then Orr. Behind them, the third rather was Dance Bid. 4 then comes Gap of Dunlow. The 1, 2, 3, Shergar, cut above and Dance Bid. They're the 1, 2, 3 in the Irish Sweeps Derby, and what an amazingly comfortable triumph for Shergar. BBC 2, if you're not staying with us to see the jump off in the Sweeps Derby, and they're running here. They're running with Bruckner in the lead. Raconteur going to take it off him now. Essert in third place. Then comes Grateful Air, whose rider's lost his cap already. Behind them comes Silverhawk, in the back mark at the moment is Fabuloso, and Raconteur has gone to the front. Raconteur from his stable companion Essert, who's taken a very strong hold. Bruckner is in third, then comes Grateful Air, and then Silverhawk with Patcher on his outside. Behind Patcher is Royal Rendezvous, then Fabuloso and Condell. And they're running down now towards the 9 furlong pole, and as they do so, it's Raconteur and Wallace Winburn, who's on his back for the first time in his life, leading by about 4 lengths from Assert. Then on the inside comes Bruckner. On the outside of Bruckner, Silverhawk making good progress. Then comes Grateful Air. Behind Grateful Air is Patcher. The back marker is Condell with Remanded and Fabuloso, and still Raconteur taking him along as they come towards the 7th furlong pole in the Irish Sweeps Derby. It's Raconteur in the lead from Assert in second. Silverhawk is next, and then comes Bruckner. Behind Bruckner is Condell. Behind Condell, Grateful Air, and then just in behind them comes Patcher. Royal Rendezvous on the inside. Racing towards the 6th furlong pole, and still Raconteur in the lead. From in second place, the odds-on favourite Assert. Then comes Silverhawk for England, and then Bruckner. Then Condell towards the outside. Fabuloso is making a little bit of progress. Noble is getting closer to them too, but they're racing towards the home turn with just over half a mile to run, and it's Raconteur being pressed by his stable companion Assert, who's come up on his inside now. Wallace Winburn eased out. Then Christy Roach through on the inner, and it's Assert now who struck the front with 3 furlongs to run. From Raconteur in second. Then comes Silverhawk, and then Bruckner, and then Condell, and then Fabuloso. Coming down towards the 2 furlong pole. Assert has stormed well clear now at the 2 furlong pole from Raconteur and Silverhawk, and then comes Bruckner, and then Condell, and then Fabuloso. And it's Assert striding away to win this all on his own. Except that Silverhawk is now coming to try and put in a challenge, but he's past the furlong pole. Christy Roach has looked over his left shoulder. There's no conceivable danger to Assert now as he strides up towards the line. Silverhawk is going to be second.
second and Thatcher third, and as they come to the line, a third Winston and positive Catcher. Silverhawk is second, third is Thatcher, 4 Fabuloso, 5 Condell, 6, 7, 8 and 9 were Raconteur, Remanded Bruckner, Royal
and Carlion the 5-4 favourite, Tinoso 2-1, 8-1 bar these, that's it. Under orders, and they're on their way for the 22nd running of the Irish Sweeps Derby, with Carlingford Castle next to the inner rail, one of the early leaders, with up on the outside of these Heron Bay. But it's Carlingford Castle in the lead from Slaney Prince in second place, then Heron Bay, then just in behind these Wassell, who's being ridden up with a pace. At this stage, the favourite Caerleon is in the mid-division. Leicester Pickett on Tinoso is towards the rear at this very early stage, but they run through the first furlong, and it's now Slaney Prince in the lead, blinkered clear from Carlingford Castle in second place. Then on the outside of these comes Sir Simon. Wassell just in behind these in company with Caerleon. Next to the rails is Sharif Dancer, and tracking Sharif Dancer is Leicester Pickett on Tinoso. The back marker at this stage is Quilted. Tinoso pulling quite hard in fact, but it's still Slaney Prince in the lead from Carlingford Castle in second place. Sir Simon on the outside of Wassell, and then on the inner of Wassell is Caerleon. On the outer of Caerleon is Parliament. Then comes Tinoso, who's now settled, and as they continue their journey down the far side, Slaney Prince in the lead, setting the pace for Carlingford Castle, who's in second place. Slaney Prince in the lead from Carlingford Castle second. Then just in behind these on the outside comes Sir Simon in third, then Wassell, then Caerleon, then Leicester Pickett on Sharif Dancer, who's on Tinoso, who's tracking Sharif Dancer. The back marker is still Quilted. They begin to swing right-handed at the far end of the track. Halfway now in the Irish Sweeps Derby, and Carlingford Castle takes up the running from Slaney Prince and Sir Simon. Then just in behind these comes Caerleon and Wassell, and behind Wassell is Sharif Dancer. Then comes Leicester going quite sweetly on Tinoso. Behind Tinoso is Heron Bay. The back marker is still Quilted, but it's Carlingford Castle next to the rails with Sir Simon on the outside of him. Then the favourite Caerleon is back in third place. Wassell is fourth. Behind these comes Sharif Dancer. Leicester now switched to the outside as they begin the turn into the home straight. 3 furlongs left to go in the Irish Sweeps Derby, and it's Carlingford Castle in the lead from Sir Simon. Here on the outside comes Tinoso and Leicester Pickett. Pedigree on the rails, then Sharif Dancer and Wassell, but it's Carlingford Castle in the lead from Sir Simon. Tinoso coming down the outside. Sharif Dancer is going very well. Caerleon looks beaten. They switched for room. They've got 2 furlongs to go, and it's Sharif Dancer in the lead. Sharif Dancer gone clear from Wassell in second place. So it's Sharif Dancer from England, from Tinoso for England in second place. Wassell for England is third. Caerleon now switched to the outside, and Pat Caerleon left the ground, but Sharif Dancer clear from Caerleon, coming well inside the final furlong, and Sharif Dancer sent 5 lengths clear from Caerleon and Tinoso. Sharif Dancer clear from Caerleon, Tinoso up towards the line. Sharif Dancer the winner from in second place. Caerleon, then came Tinoso, then Quilted and Karaminski and Wassell. Behind these came Carlingford Castle, and then Avalanche Bay and Parliament. The back markers include Heron Bay, and last of all and last by some way was Slaney Prince.
El Gran Senor. And finally, it'll be Rainbow Quest. And all 8 installed for the 1984 Joe McGrath Irish Sweeps Derby, under orders and away. And Dahar on the inside is one of the first to show, but Tellius taking it up from him now. Tellius going on from Long Pond and Dahar and Rainbow Quest. Then comes March Song, then El Gran Senor, then Inflation Beater, and Nino Valador is the back marker. So Tellios taking him along, as his half-brother did back in 1980, from Long Pond on his outside. Then comes Rainbow Quest, who's taken quite a strong hold. Dahar for France is fourth. Then comes El Gran Senor, March Song, Inflation Beater, and finally Nino Valador. And still, Jeff Baxter, his first ride in the Irish Sweeps Derby, leading on Tellius from Long Pond. Walter Swinburne, who's never been beaten. His only other ride was Sharif Dancer. In third is Rainbow Quest and Steve Cawthon. Then comes Dahar for France, and then El Gran Senor. Then quite a gap to March Song, followed by Inflation Beater and Nino Valador, finding this pace altogether too hot. 7 furlongs to run now at the Curragh, and it's still Tellios in the lead from Long Pond and Rainbow Quest and Dahar and El Gran Senor in 5th. Then March Song, Inflation Beater and Nino Valador racing towards the 5 furlong marker now. Still Tellios from Long Pond. These 2 for England, from Rainbow Quest for England 2. Then Dahar for France in 4th. Then El Gran Senor with quite a little bit to do at the moment, and Pat Eder is sitting very confidently on him, though behind him comes March Song, Inflation Beater, and then Nino Valador. And it's still Tellius from Long Pond, but little between the 2. Then comes Rainbow Quest, Daha, and El Gran Senor. It's been virtually the same order throughout as they pass the half-mile pole and make towards the home stretch now. Chelios on the inside of Long Pond. Rainbow Quest going well. Then Daha, then tucked in behind them El Gran Senor. Under 3 furlongs to run in the Sweeps Derby. Chelios from Long Pond, Rainbow Quest, Daha. Then comes El Gran Senor. And Rainbow Quest is going on now at the 2 furlong marker. Steve has gone for home, but El Gran Senor is breathing down his neck. It's Rainbow Quest from El Gran Senor. Then comes Chelios coming to the furlong pole. Rainbow Quest from El Gran Senor. El Gran Senor being kicked on now by Pat Edwards. El Gran Senor from Rainbow Quest as they race up towards the line. El Gran Senor asserts his superiority. He wins it in tremendous style. Rainbow Quest is second, Tahar is third. 4 was March Song. 5, 6, 7 and 8 were Inflation Beater, Chelios, Long Pond and Nino Valador. And so the result of the 1984 Joe McGrath Irish Sweeps Derby. First, number 2, El Gran Senor, owned by Robert Sangster, trained by Vincent O'Brien and ridden by Pat Eddery. Second was number 7, Rainbow Quest, owned by Caleb Abdallah, trained by Jeremy Tree and ridden by Steve Cawthon. And third was number 1, Daha, owned by Bruce McNall, trained by Maurice Zilber and ridden by Alain Lecoeur. And they're away. And Bellavray is one of the first to show, and Mukhtar on the inside. And Mukhtar, in fact, going on now from Snow Plant and Bellavray. Then comes Infantry, then Outrider. Then behind them come Bayamon. Law Society is one of the back markers with Triptyche. And as they settle down, Mukhtar and Yves Saint-Martin from Snow Plant. Then on the outside of Snow Plant is Bellavray. Then comes Law Society making ground from the rear on the inside. And upsides him is Infantry. And now Mukhtar's been dropped back to third as Bellavray goes on from Snow Plant. Then comes Outrider, then Infantry. Behind them come Law Society and then Rising. On the outside of Rising is Damaster, Lester Bigot, and then Sun Valley. And behind Sun Valley is Theatrical. Then comes Triptyche, then Bayamon. And last is Dundalk Bay. Racing towards the 6 furlong pole in the Irish Sweeps Derby. Snow Plant going on from Bellavray, Mukhtar. Then comes Outrider, then Infantry. Then comes Law Society and Damaster and Sun Valley and Theatrical, and then Rising, and then comes Triptyche and Bayamon, and behind them Dundalk Bay, and it's Snow Plant in the lead as they race now towards the 5 furlong mark. Snow Plant from Mukhtar on the inside, Outrider on the outside, Bellavray, then comes Theatrical, then Law Society. Triptyche is making very good progress from the rear. Racing now towards the home turn, Snow Plant and Outrider from Mukhtar. Theatrical is 4th, 5th is Infantry. Then comes Triptyche 6th, then Damaster making ground from the rear. They've got just over 3 furlongs to run in the Irish Sweeps Derby. Outrider is in the lead from Mukhtar going back into second. Theatrical going well on the outside. Damaster trying to produce a run on the stand side. Behind them Law Society and Bayamon. And now it's Theatrical who's hit the front. Theatrical has hit the front from Mukhtar over on the far side. Damaster coming there on the near side. It's Theatrical from Damaster as they race into the closing stages. Infantry is coming there fast, and Law Society on the near side. It's Theatrical from Law Society now. Law Society coming to challenge Theatrical. Law Society and Theatrical, and Law Society forging ahead as they come to the line. Law Society is going to win the Derby. Second Theatrical, Damaster third. Infantry 4, 5 and 6, Triptyche and Bayamon. Then came the disappointing Mukhtar. Behind them Dundalk Bay, Rising in Sun Valley. And then came Snow Plant. And last was Bellavray. And so the result of the 1985 Irish Sweeps Derby, a photo finish, but I think we'll find that number 6, Law Society, owned by Mr. Stavros Niarchos, trained by Vincent O'Brien and ridden by Pat Eddery, has just beaten number 13, Theatrical, owned by Mr. Bert Faustin, trained by Dermot Weld and ridden by Michael Cannan, with number 3, Damaster third. But it is officially a photo. I think we'll find that Infantry was Very fourth. warm favourite, Yaga Khan's white-faced son of Nijinsky out of Shadimar to complete a 4-timer this season. Walter adjusts his goggles. He's approaching the stalls now. And in fact, he'll be the last to go. They've really got them in very quickly, making up for lost time. The 11 runners will be all in once Sharastani is installed, and remarkably he's just having a little look at these stalls before he goes in. He's due into stall number 10. That's one from us, and that's it. He's in, and they're away. Off to a first-timer with Bonhomie, in fact, going on. Bonhomie going on in the early stages, but Ostensible taking it up now, and Ostensible going on from Bonhomie. Then comes Mr. John with Flash of Steel, and Sharastani has now gone third. So it's Ostensible in the lead, from Bonhomie in second. Then comes Sharastani and Mr. John. Then comes Flash of Steel, then Fighting Hard. The back marker is King Retain, and Baccaroff has only got two behind him at the moment, World Court and King Retain. And as they pass the 9 furlong pole, make their way towards the mile pole now, going at a very good clip. It's Ostensible in the lead from Bonhomie, going well on his tail. Then comes the favourite Sharastani, and then King John. Then moving up on the inside is Pacific Drift. Behind Pacific Drift is Flash of Steel, and Baccaroff has now only got one behind him. That's King Retain, and Ostensible, his pacemaker, still making it as they pass the 7 furlong pole from Bonhomie in second. Sharastani is third. Just behind Sharastani is Pacific Drift. Behind Pacific Drift on his outside is Mr. John. Then comes Fighting Hard, and just behind Fighting Hard is Flash of Steel. Baccaroff has still only got one behind him. And Mashkoor has got a lot to do at the moment, and it's still Bonhomie from Ostensible, Sharastani, a gap of about 8 lengths then to Mr. John. And behind Mr. John, Pacific Drift. Then Mashkoor making a bit of ground towards the outside. But Bonhomie has taken it up now, being tracked by Sharastani. It's Pat Edery from Walter Swinburne. Then comes Ostensible and Mr. John. Then Mashkoor, the stable companion of the current leader, making ground now towards the outside as they race towards the home turn. And it's Pat Edery on Bonhomie, being chased by Walter Swinburne on Sharastani. Then comes Mr. John. Then on the outside, Mashkoor has moved into fourth. They've got 2.5 furlongs to run in the Budweiser Derby, and it's Bonhomie being pressed by Sharastani. Then on the outside comes Baccaroff with Mashkoor upsides. They're racing towards the furlong pole. Sharastani has taken it up now from Bonhomie. Then comes Baccaroff on the outside with Mashkoor. It's Sharastani who stormed into the lead. He's going to win this in tremendous style. They're well inside the final furlong. Sharastani from Bonhomie and Mashkoor, and then comes Baccaroff. And as they race into the closing stages, there's only one horse in it. Sharastani has won it by a good 10 lengths from Bonhomie. Baccaroff and Mashkoor in a photo, with Baccaroff just getting up to be third ahead of Mashkoor. And then came Mr. John, and behind him was World Court, and then Flash of Steel and King Retain and Ostensible. And behind Ostensible was Pacific Drift. The final furlong is Earl Vic and Steve Cawthon being pressed now by observation post, but not being pressed very hard. Earl Vic is going to win it smoothly at the line. Earl Vic is the winner. Observation post second, Ildaniski third. 4 comes Phantom under orders, and they're away. On away to a good even break with Quest for Fame up there in the earliest stages too, but Deploy taking it up now. Deploy taking it up from Altaretza on the outside. Then comes Quest for Fame. Blue Stag's up with the pace, followed by Cahill, and then Belmez, and then Salsa Bill, and then Emperor Chang. The back marker is Super Flame, and Deploy is still making it from Altaretza. Deploy, Altaretza, Blue Stag towards the outside. Quest for Fame comes next, tracked by Cahill. Belmez on the outside, Salsa Bill on the inner, then Emperor Chang, and finally Super Flame. Deploy making a good gallop as they pass the 9 pole there. From Blue Stag in second. Quest for Fame is third. 4 comes Altaretza now, and then Cahill with Salsa Bill traveling smoothly on the inside, tracked by Belmez. Behind Belmez is Emperor Chang, and finally Super Flame, and still Deploy as they race to the halfway mark now. Deploy passing the halfway mark with a 2-length advantage over his stable companion Quest for Fame. Blue Stag is third. Salsa Bill has moved up on the inside into fourth, followed by Cahill, then Altaretza, then Belmez, who's got quite a bit to do at the moment. Deploy still from Quest for Fame. Salsabil, the filly, a clear third now, ahead of Blue Stag as they begin to run downhill towards the home turn. Still Walter Swinburne taking him along on Deploy. Then comes Quest for Fame, then Salsabil, then towards the outside is Blue Stag. Belmare's getting a very lot closer now and moving nicely in behind the principals as they race towards the home turn. Deploy still has the advantage from Quest for Fame. Blue Stag in third. Salsabil has lost a little bit of ground on the turn. Belmare's making ground towards the outside. 3 furlongs to run now, and it's Deploy from Quest for Fame. Then comes Blue Stag. Belmare's on the outside. Salsabil being chased along. They're coming to the 2 furlong marker. Deploy has the advantage from Quest for Fame. Salsabil moves into third. Belmare's challenging on the outside. Salsabil delivering a tremendous challenge now to Deploy, and it's Salsabil who comes to challenge Deploy now. The filly is going to win the Derby. Salsabil is fighting away from Deploy. Willie Carson maintains his tremendous form. Salsabil has won the Derby. Deploy is second. Belmez is in a photo for third with Blue Stag and may have just got third from Blue Stag on the far side. Quest for Fame disappointing in between the two. Then came Super Flame, and behind Super Flame was Emperor Chang, and last in fact was Alterezza, and so the winner of the 1990 Budweiser Irish Derby, first number 9, Salsabil, owned by Sheikh Hamdan Al Maktoum, trained by John Dunlop and ridden by Willie Carson. 2 unbeaten in 3 runs with Suave Dancer, the French Derby winner, moving up threateningly in third. Then the English Derby third, Star of Gdansk in fourth as they round the home turn. Generous is the leader from Sports World. Suave Dancer coming there strongly towards the outside. Star of Gdansk isn't done with. They come to the 2 furlong pole. Generous is the leader from Suave Dancer. It's the big 2 now between it. They have it between themselves. It's the English Derby winner, Generous, being challenged by the French Derby winner, Suave Dancer. Inside the final furlong is Generous from Suave Dancer. The final 100 yards, Generous holding Suave Dancer. Generous is going to win the Budweiser Derby, and at the line, Generous is a brilliant winner. Suave Dancer is second. Star of Gdansk is third. Sports World is fourth. And fifth came Nordic Charmer. And sixth and last.
And ready to go for the 1999 Budweiser Irish Derby. And they're off. And away they go, and it's Urban Ocean and Daliapur, the first to show in front. Tchaikovsky running 3 with Genghis Khan. Beat All is 5. They're being followed by Muda Eb on the inside, Mutafawej, being followed by Port Bayou. Montjeur's last but one in company with Festival Hall. In the early stages, Urban Ocean has won the race to get to the front and shows 2 in front for Shamie Heffernan, to Daliapur running second, Gerard Mossy. Beat All moves into third for Gary Stevens. Genghis Khan is 4, Kieran Fallon. Tchaikovsky, Michael Kanan 5, being followed by Mutafawej and Frankie Dettori. Then comes Port Bayou and Pat Smullen with on the inside Festival Hall and Jamie Spencer, followed by Muda Eb on the outside, and then comes Monture. So they race on up the far side with less than a mile to go. Urban Ocean leads by 3 to Daliapur. They're being followed by Beat All running 3. Then Tchaikovsky with Mutafawej and alongside Genghis Khan. Festival Hall is next with Port Bayou, Muda Eb, and the back marker is Monture. They begin to climb up now towards the 6 furlong point, and it's Urban Ocean leading by over 3 lengths to Daliapur. Beat All is running 3. They're being followed by Tchaikovsky on the inside of Mutafawej, then Genghis Khan, and after these Muda Eb, Festival Hall, Port Bayou, and Cash and Monture is the back marker. Racing downhill on the approach to the straight. Urban Ocean by 3 lengths to Daliapur in second. In third place, Beat All improving for Gary Stevens. Tchaikovsky is just behind these, being followed by Mutafawej, and then making ground is Monture, and it's Daliapur now in the lead. Beat All is ranged up on the outside, then Urban Ocean, Tchaikovsky, and then Mutafawej with Monture making ground towards the stand side. Racing now to the 2 mark, and it's Daliapur gone into the lead. Monture and Cash Asmussen coming there on the near side of Tchaikovsky. Tchaikovsky and Beat All, and racing now to the final furlong. It's Monjour and Cash Asmussen ranging up on the near side, and it's the French Derby winner, and Cash striding away on Monjour in the colours of Michael Tabor to win in great style. Cash gets the money by winning the Derby on Monjour. In second, Daliapour, Tchaikovsky a big run 3, Beat All, Mutafawaj, Urban Ocean. They round the turn to take them into the straight. Behind them in fifth is Morshty. Then comes Vinnie Rowe and Exultation as they straighten up for home now. It's Pugin, the leader, on the far side, but here comes Galileo in the centre. They're being followed by Mr. Combustible, and then comes Morshty racing down now to the final furlong. And Galileo, the Epsom Derby winner, has gone for home. And Michael Canaan, who's never won an Irish Derby, is out clear. In second place is Morshty and then Pugin. But Galileo is going to spread eagle this field and race up towards the finish. Galileo joins the greats in winning the dual derbies for Aidan O'Brien and Mike.